Hi, I'm Emprezz Golding, and welcome to another Spirited Woman series where we put the spotlight on trailblazing women who have shattered glass ceilings and overcome their own obstacles. Here to share with us their journey are the sisters today, right? We have Michelle and Suzanne Rousseau of Summerhouse, right here in Tower Isle, St. Mary. Spirited women, thank you so much for having me. How are you?
It's a pleasure to have you. Welcome to St. Mary.
Thank you, and that's Michelle, and we have
Suzanne. Yes, welcome to Summerhouse. It's really a pleasure to be here and to be talking about things of the spirit.
Well, let's talk about, we're wearing clothes that you can get right here. We're all dressed in a beautiful piece from
Island Magnolia, which is the boutique we have upstairs here at Harmony Hall. Summerhouse is downstairs, the restaurant. Upstairs, we have a beautiful boutique that features resort fashion from all over the Caribbean and all over Latin America.
Excellent. Now, I have wined and dined right here at Summerhouse, here in Harmony Hall, with my girlfriends, and it was the most beautiful and spirited experience. And I want to ask you to tell me a little bit about the business. As sisters, you've always been in business, but for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about your journey to here.
Wow, that's a big question.
Yes.
We started many years ago. We've actually been in business together now, nigh on 30 years. We opened our first business, which was actually a retail store, just like we have at Island Magnolia here, in 1994. And our first restaurant in 1996. So we are long in the tooth in this business, I would say.
And we don't look as old as the business does.
No, you don't. No, I was going to ask you, how many fights have you had in the last 30 years? But we won't go there yet, because we will address the obstacles and the challenges.
Absolutely.
But you've gone through so many different phases in your life. And how long ago did you open Summerhouse? And tell me all that Summerhouse offers.
We opened Summerhouse in the May of 2018. And originally we were in Kingston at the Ligony Club, and so we took the space there. We did a big refurb, and we were actually intending to have two locations, and one in Kingston and one here in Ocherius when COVID hit. And the lockdown came, and it gave us some time to reevaluate both our business model and just the conditions we were all operating under for restaurants and hospitality. And this project was then well underway. And we decided we had to focus our energies on getting this property open and finishing the refurb. And so we decided to close our Kingston location and relocate all of our energy here. So Summerhouse for us was really, I think, the incarnation of many years of us being in the food business. It's a product that we feel embodies Caribbean lifestyle. We felt that Harmony Hall was a great destination for, a leisurely lunch on the veranda of a family friend. And for us, I think part of what we've done in our time here in the food business is look at the way we live in the Caribbean, the way we eat, the ingredients we use, and try to present them in modern and contemporary ways for every kind of design, every kind of Epicurean, whether they are Jamaican or not from Jamaica.
Love it. Michelle, tell me about the food. Tell me about the menu. Tell me about the hours. And what are your customers enjoying the most, and where are they from?
It's an interesting dynamic here. I think, unlike a lot of places in Jamaica, and I think this is a narrative that people speak about a lot. People feel that a lot of the coastline is not accessible to Jamaicans anymore. And for us, we have always had that perfect balance of local clientele and visitors to the island who stay in the EP hotels and all-inclusives around the area. And that is because our focus here is largely on presenting the ingredients of the region, and in particular Jamaica. And when I say the region, I mean our immediate region within the 20-mile radius of where we sit. Working with local farmers, local fishermen. Our menu is 80% locally sourced. And we look at presenting the ingredients for the sake of the ingredients themselves in different ways that a Jamaican, it's like we want everyone who comes here to have a discovery. So for a Jamaican who doesn't eat breadfruit the way we serve it, it's like, oh wow, I never knew you could eat breadfruit that way. And for someone who is visiting the island who has never had breadfruit, it's like, oh wow, I didn't realize this was what breadfruit was.
What is that?
Yeah, exactly. What is that?
I like it.
Yeah.
So there's a way in which that I think we chose to focus on the things that are the simple things of our cuisine. A lot of salt fish, we'll do pickled herring, breadfruit, a lot of provisions on the side, local meats. And I think it's really about taking the ingredients and elevating them and presenting them in a way that is universal, that everybody can understand and enjoy.
And I must tell you, my girlfriends and I love the food. Suzanne, it's not easy being in business. It's not easy being a woman in this spirit industry that we call it, the spirits industry. You know, you are definitely one of the best and favorite customers of Ray and Nephew. I say that to all of the women.
We love our Appleton.
And Ray and Nephew, I really appreciate you.
Yeah, we do.
And we know that you serve it here as well.
Absolutely.
So you have a nice little bar as well.
Mm-hmm. And we've always partnered with Appleton. We've had really great relationships with them. We've had many of their other brands outside of the rum, but we make one of our famous drinks actually here that everybody loves is the Dark and Stormy. We make a local, freshly made ginger beer every day in-house, non aerated, and we use that fresh ginger beer and we pair it with obviously Appleton and make a delicious Dark and Stormy. So it's one of our signature cocktails. You know, look, it's not being in this industry as a woman is definitely not easy. I think it does take a certain amount of tenacity. It certainly is physically very demanding. The hours are long. And I think it requires your spirit to lead you. And you know, that play on words. I think Michelle and I have always had a really strong vision and intention behind the work that we do. We don't take it lightly, and we do it with a great amount of intention, and we are guided always by that which brings us joy, but also offers that to our customer. And I think what we try to offer is, you know, something that really speaks to that, what we have, you know, our spirit sort of enjoys, what we love, and an embodiment of that. But I think we've had you know, lots of difficulties and challenges over the years. We were young when we started the business, so we were stupid and didn't think very hard before we said, we're just going to do a restaurant.
Easy.
Yeah. I don't know, we figure it out. And I mean, we kind of learned the business back ways. I think Michelle could probably speak to a bit.
Trial and error, I would call it.
Trial and error, and you know, you can't find success in business either as an entrepreneur or in any space without failure. And I think a lot of people are afraid of failure because they think it makes you vulnerable and exposes you, and that is that sort of that experience that pushes you to your edge, that forces you to be creative, to reinvent, to think, you know, okay, well, do I give up, or is there another way I can look at this? And you know, when you are kind of pushed to that place, it opens you up to new perspectives that I do not think, you know, in a traditional, you know, stable, easy, secure, safe environment that you allow yourself to go there.
A lot of problem solving.
Yeah, a lot of problem solving, a lot of intuitive sort of guidance. You know, you have to listen to your spirit and what your intuition is telling you. Gut instinct, you know, as to like what's the next thing, or where should I go, or if I need to. People use the word pivot a lot in COVID. I mean, we didn't use that, but if we have to reinvent, like what not only makes sense financially, and what does the market want, what do our customers want, and really what do we want?
Yeah, what's true to our vision for the product and the brand that we are. And I think Michelle and I live the brand and very much believe that what we sell and what we serve and what we have in the store is very much how we live and what we enjoy and have grown up in the Caribbean to appreciate. And I think it's about being willing to evolve. As a woman, I think evolution is essential to survival. I think all women at every stage of life have to be willing to look inward and to evolve and grow. And I think that also affords the same message in your business. And I think we've had many incarnations and many evolutions in the course of our life in this industry.
Yes, they're also TV stars. They've had their
television,
cooking show.
We've published cookbooks.
Yes.
We've done consulting, and you know, they're all evolutions of some of the same things. But I think that's a big part of, you know, being successful and staying the course is being willing to evolve and grow.
And knowing yourself, because at the end of the day, irrespective of how many iterations of our business we have had, there has been one common thread, one core through it all, and that is authentic to us at all times, you know. And so there's one common thread throughout all of our iterations, and that is that it's true to us and it's authentic to who we are. And we don't work with brands, and this is really where Ray and Nephew comes in. We don't work with brands or align with people, places, or partners that do not align with us, and or that are not genuinely a part of our life. And you know, we grew up in Jamaica as young women going out drinking Appleton.
Of course.
You know, we love our
Appleton
regular special, Appleton special, right? And then
Appleton
BX.
coconut water.
Then
special.
coconut water. And the soak of head rum and coconut water.
Right.
On the beach, like this.
Yes.
So-
No, this with some coconut
Oh
water.
my God, the best drink in the
Absolutely.
world.
I tried that last year. I was
Hello.
going. No,
First time?
because I like mine. Really and truly, I'm white rum and tea. That's my thing.
No,
Okay.
my girl.
Rum girl.
We
That's
depart
my thing.
there. Yeah, we're red rum girl.
Right? But I was on the boat, so thank you for reminding me. I haven't had it since I was on that boat, and somebody said, Emprezz,
And the good thing is that
pour it with the coconut water.
The
It was
best
so
drink
good.
it
in life.
hydrates
It hydrates.
while you do the thing that you're doing. So
Very good on
it's
the
a
road
very
to
good
Trinidad
drink.
Carnival.
Yes.
What's that?
We would take Appleton with us to Trinidad Carnival.
Yeah, because back
but
in
we
then-
grew up
Oh,
in Trinidad,
wow.
Yeah.
and then we would go back for Carnival.
Yeah.
When we were older.
And we won't
Yeah.
slag
And
any other brands
There's
off,
nothing
but
wrong with Trinidadian rum. However,
You
we
had
never
to
have to walk with our
Yes.
Appleton.
they never had anything of this standard at that time.
At that time, right?
So we had to move with the product.
So we love our product, and that's why we serve the product
Yeah,
here
we do.
at Summerhouse. Oh, ladies, you're so spirited. Let's go into the challenges. Let's break them down. Is it a male-dominated industry? Like when you look at your staff, and how do men that you lead respond to you when you have to draw the hard line?
That's such a good question.
is a good question.
I think. Look, I do believe that Jamaica is for sure a male-dominated society, which I think is such a contradiction because the matriarch is so much the leader of the family in so many homes
Absolutely.
across every sector of society. But I think that we were in this business long before Me Too became a thing, and we've had our fair share of darling and sweetie and whatever. But I think you have to respect yourself first. I think everybody who has ever worked with us, we were raised by a man that believed in equity for women and empowerment for females, and our father was incredible in that way. He always made us believe that we could do whatever and we had the right to do whatever, and we were equal to men and everybody else, and we were to pursue our dreams. And I think anybody who has worked with us over the years, male or female, understands one core principle: respect and integrity govern all of our policies. So we treat our staff and people that work with us with a great amount of integrity and respect. Lots of jokes,
Yeah.
whole heap of laugh,
Yeah.
but that is expected
And
in
some
return.
firm conversations sometimes.
Yeah.
And I can't say
yeah.
we haven't had our fair share of, X and Y bad word cursing, because it's just the nature of this business. It's a very high pressure. But I think our role is really to mentor young people and to mentor
Absolutely.
both the male and female staff members that we have, and show them how to feel respect and pride in what they do. Service is an industry, it is not servitude, and how to sort of look at the best of what we are offering our island, both to our Jamaican customers and to foreigners. So that is a very core principle for us. And I don't put up with disrespect from anybody, but I also treat everybody with respect. And I think what you give out in the world comes back to you.
As both the CEOs, the executives of the business, do you argue? I mean, sibling rivalries. Does this happen in this space?
We have, from we were young, we always, I think you can have people who are siblings who are not friends.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are siblings who naturally get along and are friends. So
Yeah.
from we were young, we were always very in sync.
Yeah.
We do
friends.
very specific and very different aspects of the business. And I think that helps. There are sections in the business that we always collaborate. And we have a spoken and an unspoken understanding that we're either both for it. If we're not both a yes, it's a no. So if
Okay.
one is a yes and one is a maybe, it's a no. So we're unified in our approach to what we do and how we do it and when we want to do it. And I think we co-create a certain aspect and then we separate and we take different parts.
I love that.
And so it's worked,
It works. 30 years later, here we
Here
are.
we are.
It's a question we get asked all the time, though, because people seem to find it curious.
Yeah,
And
the
I
Rousseau
always think,
sisters.
why?
Yeah.
Why would it be curious that you can't work with a sibling? or
Because
a
lots of
sister?
siblings can't
But
work
I
together.
that's just not. We were not raised that way, but it's just
Yeah.
truthfully
That's
that
true,
we are
yeah.
very different. People think, oh, they're the same or they're twins. They're like, we really are very, very different. But we get along very well,
And we like a lot of the same things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we approach our work with a lot of joy. So I think there's a lot of laughs and a lot of good fun, and I think a lot of what we do is stuff that we all enjoy and laugh at the same time, and there's a lot of joy in the work, because I think that's a key
And
part.
it's an aspect of that's essential to survival in Jamaica, because I think the business environment here is very, very, it's highly stressful, especially if you're a small to medium enterprise. And I think
female.
there's a lot of pressure. especially if, and you asked about that, about is it being a male-dominated industry? The entire hospitality industry is male-dominated. I think you could probably count on one hand the amount of female general managers or executive chefs in big hotel chains in the island of Jamaica. That does not mean, however, that you don't have a plethora of female-owned small businesses, small restaurants, cook shops, but they're not getting the same level of cred that as a very large corporate entity. And I think that the way that you navigate that world, it comes with a lot of high pressure. So joy and fun and just and being present, yes, but enjoying what you do is a big part of how you kind of break up that stress, intensity and the stress of it.
And you've mentioned quite a few times in our conversation the word joy. And I must say, I lost my mom a few years ago, and I decided that because her name is Joy, that I would live every day with joy. So every time you say it, I'm like, Mom. And you mentioned the principles and the values that your dad instilled in you to be like, be at your best and better than no one, and you're as equal as, know.
Absolutely.
However, I know that you lost your dad just recently.
Very recently.
And that must have been very painful and put a toll on you in operating as well. So how do you how are you both, and how do you overcome grief in this space?
It's a good question.
I mean, I think for us, I think we were both realized that we were gifted with a father like ours. It was a privilege to be his daughter. And I think that even though you're never ready when that parent goes, I think that we've done enough personal work and navigated enough difficulty in our personal lives and just generally in life that I think we have the tools. It doesn't mean that you don't feel the loss or the void, but I think we are equipped, and he gave us the tools, but we have worked to develop them. And I think it's it's such a privilege and such an honor to have been his daughter. I think the best thing I can do is to continue to create and grow and exist and show the world sort of the legacy that he has left behind.
And one thing about our dad was that he was a patriot. He was someone who he never wanted to leave Jamaica. He believed in building Jamaica. And he had a lot of pride about his country and the people in it. And we inherited that, and a love of culture and art and music and Caribbean-ness, which I think is at the core, really it's the core of what we have created, just naturally and intuitively. But even more so, it has become a point of focus for us to when you see a country that is externally referencing every day. Jamaica has sort of moved in a direction, unfortunately, where everything of value that we value very highly is not really of value anymore. So older buildings or traditional ways of doing things, and it doesn't mean that we mustn't innovate and modernize, but we are from a world where we value those things highly. So I think the heritage, the history, the arts, really just sort of weaving that into the work in a seamless way, so that when someone comes here to have a drink in our bar, there's something, I don't know, I feel like it's a very I feel like I was at somebody's house, or I was on their veranda, or
I was in another era.
Yeah, and so that's the liquor, but that's also the food, it's the music, it's the setting, it's the color of the building, it's the way we train our team to serve.
I was going to say the staff are
the
very
staff,
friendly.
Yeah,
it's gracious old world hospitality. Yeah. I think we sort of we harken back a lot to the period before our time, maybe the era we grew up in, where this sense of patriotism, but this sense of gracious hospitality. Your doors are always open. Community is important. Friends are welcome, but you welcome people as a guest in your home,
and everybody is welcome the same.
And I think that's a lot of what we offer here at Summerhouse. That's sort of very much the culture, I think, of what we're trying to create and offer.
And we're gonna go have something to eat in a minute, but I have a few questions for you. Let's start with you, Michelle. If we were to write your autobiography right now, what would the title be? Suzanne has time to think.
I wrote my own autobiography when I was 13. It was called My Autobiography. No,
really? 13.
What would it be?
What would the title be?
What would the title be? Lessons of Spirit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lessons of Spirit. And you, Suzanne?
Oh my God. like between two things.
Yeah.
I would say something like life in color, living a life of color, living a life in color. I think color is really important to me and always has been in multiple ways. How I see things, how I interpret color, how I'm very intuitive with color. So, I mean, it's not the best answer, but
no,
life in
I
color.
like it. Life in color.
Because color to me embodies so many things, you know. It's it's energy, it's joy, it's this, it's that. So it's
It is. It's there's so many colors on the chart.
Yeah.
So that's a whole heap of chapters, and I can't wait to read it. Tell us about your current books.
We have two cookbooks, both of which were published some years ago now. The most recent one is called Provisions, The Roots of Caribbean Cooking. That was published in the fall of 2018 in New York, in the US. It did very, very well. It was on many best books lists, New York Times, New Yorker, San Francisco Chronicle, Epicurious, Serious Eats. So it was very critically well received. I think it looked very much at the history of the cuisine and really of the female legacy.
Yes.
And of the woman that cooked it. It was a vegetarian cookbook. The previous one was called
Caribbean Potluck, and that was published in 2014, early 2014, and that really was more of a personal narrative on our journey in food. It had recipes that it's not vegetarian, but it has recipes that are, you know, recipes we have cooked in our restaurants and our catering businesses and stuff over the years, and some family recipes in there as well. And it kind of took you on a journey of our trajectory through our culinary career.
So get up and get that book. If you see it in stores, make sure you grab it. The Rousseau Sisters. If you were missing in this business, right, for a year, what would happen? If you went away for 1 year, what would happen?
Well, they would probably get all the paint colors wrong in all the They would have all the furniture in the wrong place. The bar would look terrible at the bar back because they would not put everything back.
Yeah.
And the boutique would have no clothing in there.
There we go. You can't go anywhere for a year. And do you have any hidden talents, Michelle?
I don't know if I would say I have hidden talents. I think I can.
Sure.
Yes, you do. I mean, I don't know what they are. They're not hidden to me.
She can read tarot cards.
I read tarot. Yes, I'm a
Really?
tarot. Yes.
Very psychic.
But
Really?
I find I have I can see like things in a very organizational, structural way. Like I can foresee like 5 steps down. Maybe that's linked into the channeling ability as to how to structure things.
Look at
Yes, I have a little bit of a psychic vibe in me.
Ooh, we're reading.
I would say I'm a breakdancer, but I'm not really.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I am.
In your
I'm
mind,
watching the movie and I'm like,
yeah, I could do this.
Do you like to be a karate?
oh
You
yes.
want to be like
We love the kickers movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we love a kickers.
Like,
If I'm flicking through and I pass it, I'm like, it's somewhere.
The Kickers movie.
Because it's like when I say,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And like,
But I
you
can't
have
do
all
it.
the
It's not
show or
really
any
a hidden
action.
talent.
When any action come on, you see her like this.
Like,
What are
wow.
you looking at? She's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll talk. Because like she just gets drawn in like a little boy.
Maybe it's never too late.
I think I was like a Shaolin warrior in a past life.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And it's never too
All the
late.
weapons and yes, that was it.
Hey, watch your camera, guys. Watch your camera. You never know what could happen in here. And what
And I
about
do
you?
voices and accents very well.
Really?
That is a hidden talent.
All right, where
yes.
we're going now? Drop
Yes,
one.
no.
Drop one.
I come from Christchurch, Barbados, and I also Trinidadian, eh?
It is, when it's Trinidad,
I come
you
from
talk.
Trinidad, yes. Anyway, go on now.
I love
I can
it.
tell you hers, but let her do hers first.
Let me see.
Do I have any hidden talents? I'm just so like I have prophetic dreams. Everything I dream a lot of my dreams come to pass. This was something I did not know that I had. My grandmother was this way. And when my marriage ended, which was like, 15 years ago, suddenly I started to have these crazy dreams. And I'd be like, what the heck? And then I began to realize that they were connected to real life instances and not necessarily people I knew very well, by the way. So if I go around people and I pick up their energy, I will sometimes get messages or visions.
I wonder what she's gonna dream about me.
You
too.
never
She
know.
can also-
Forget your number, so I will call and tell
Please,
you.
yes.
She can also paint. She paints a little bit, but she would
yes.
never say she. And she also does all of the interiors for Harmony Hall are done by her.
Beautiful.
So, and she also does fashion design a little bit on the side, but not really aligned.
I'm a
but
creative,
she's
let's
a
just put
creative.
it that way, in the
Yes.
true
An
sense
artist.
of the word. I'm
Yes.
very artistic. I've
Yes.
always been. I never saw myself as such, but I actually really
You
am.
have the eye.
So color is very important to me in all of my sort of in every aspect of my life.
That's why the autobiography
Yeah.
will be
In color.
in color.
Yeah.
Living or life in color.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you just met two spirited women, two spirited sisters from Summerhouse right here, Tower Isle, St. Mary, Harmony Hall, a lot of history, a beautiful space for brunch wherever you are in the world. Make sure you stop by and check the boutique as well upstairs for some beautiful clothing. Ladies, thank you for this spirited
Thank you.
afternoon.
Thank you so much.
It's been great.
It's
I
been
love
so
their
much fun.
energy.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Joy.
I love them. It was a joy.
Yeah.
was a joy.
It was a joy.
Michelle Rousseau
Thank
and
you.
Suzanne.
Thank you.
I'm
been
Emprezz
wonderful.
Golding, and that has been
That calls for the rum now, honey.
that
Yes.
calls for
Ready?
Spirit.
spirited.
Spirited.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.